All right, so are you ready for this? We are diving deep today into Crossing the Chasm.
Oh, a classic.
It's by Geoffrey A. Moore.
It's a good one.
Really unpacking the challenges that companies face when they're trying to make that leap from early adopters to the mainstream market.
Yeah.
And before we jump in, I should mention that
Yeah.
this is really kind of the startup Bible, right?
It is. It's amazing how relevant this book still is today
Yeah.
for anyone in the tech world. It was written in 1991,
Right.
but it's still so relevant.
Yeah. And it's really all about how to break out of that niche and make it big.
Yeah.
Crossing the Chasm really breaks down why that leap is so tricky and what it takes to actually pull it off.
Absolutely. And at the heart of it all, this idea of the chasm,
Yeah.
it's this gap that exists between early adopters who are all about the newest, coolest tech
Right.
and the majority of people who are much more cautious
Yeah.
and need some convincing.
Okay, so let's dig into this chasm a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it is the foundation of this whole book, right?
Absolutely. Think of it like this. You have this bell curve
Okay.
of customers,
Mm-hmm.
and right in the middle of that curve,
Yeah.
there's this crack.
Oh, okay.
That's the chasm.
Okay.
It's where so many companies, especially tech companies,
Yeah.
just hit a wall.
Because they get so excited about the early adopters.
Right. They get caught up in the excitement of the early adopters
Yeah.
who are basically cheering them on.
Yeah.
They see those early sales and think, we got this.
Right.
But they forget that those early adopters
Yeah.
are a different breed.
Right.
They want the revolution, the
Yeah.
cutting edge,
Yeah.
the early majority.
Yeah.
They're looking for something that fits seamlessly into their lives.
Right.
Something that makes things easier,
Makes sense.
not more complicated.
So they want evolution, not revolution.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah.
assuming everyone's going to love your super spicy chili just because your friends who love heat
Yeah.
can't get enough of it.
That's a perfect analogy.
I like that one.
Yeah.
So, and that's where Moore's D-Day invasion analogy comes in.
Okay.
Instead of trying to take on the entire market at once,
Yeah.
which is what a lot of companies try to do,
Right.
you need a focused attack.
Okay.
You need to establish
Yeah.
a beachhead.
So you're saying instead of storming the beaches of Normandy,
Yes.
you're picking a smaller strategic island to gain a foothold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need that strategic foothold
Yeah.
in a specific part of the market,
Okay.
a niche.
Got it.
And it has to be the right niche.
Right.
Because it is going to be your launching pad
Right.
for everything else.
So, but how do you pick that perfect beachhead?
Right?
Especially when you're dealing with brand new technology.
Yeah.
The market might not even exist yet.
That's the tricky part.
Yeah.
It's a high-stakes bet
Right?
with limited data,
Yeah.
which is why those traditional market research methods
Right.
often fall short.
Okay.
So Moore suggests
Yeah.
going deeper with
Yeah.
what he calls target customer characterization.
So instead of just saying we're targeting businesses,
Yes.
you're saying we're targeting Sarah,
Yes.
a busy project manager
Exactly.
who's drowning in spreadsheets and emails.
You paint a picture
Right.
of this ideal customer,
Okay.
their needs,
Yeah.
their frustrations. Like, remember those early 3D printers?
Oh, yeah.
They were mostly for hobbyists
Yeah.
and prototyping.
Right.
To really cross the chasm,
Yeah.
they needed to find a market where the need was intense,
Okay.
a real pain point.
So, for example, Documentum,
Yes.
they went after the pharmaceutical industry.
Brilliant.
Not the most glamorous,
Not glamorous,
but it was genius.
but genius. Think about it.
Yeah.
Pharmaceutical companies,
Yeah.
especially their regulatory affairs departments,
Right.
were drowning in paperwork.
Ugh. Yeah.
Every day that a drug approval was delayed
Yeah.
was costing them millions.
Wow.
Documentum swooped in
Yeah.
with their software,
Right.
which was light years ahead of anything else
Right.
at the time,
Okay.
and offered a solution to their biggest headache.
So they basically became the go-to in that niche.
They did.
And from there, they were able to expand to other departments within those companies
Yes.
and then even into different industries altogether.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They knocked down that first bowling pin,
Oh, nice.
and the rest started falling like dominoes.
Okay.
Choosing that niche
Yeah.
at beachhead
Right.
with a burning pain point
Yeah.
was the key.
It's not about the size of the niche. It's about the intensity of the problem that you're solving.
That's it.
But you also need a plan for what comes next.
Absolutely. You've got to think about how you're going to leverage that initial success
Okay.
to expand outward, like Documentum moving from regulatory affairs to research and beyond.
Okay.
You've got to line up those pins.
Gotcha. So you've landed on your beachhead. But the battle's not over.
Nope.
What's the next crucial element?
The whole product. This is where so many companies trip up.
Okay.
They think their cool technology is enough.
Right.
But the pragmatists,
Yeah.
the early majority,
Mm-hmm.
they want more.
They want the whole package.
You want a complete, seamless experience, what Moore calls the whole product.
So it's not just about the core technology anymore.
It's about everything that surrounds it.
a whole enchilada.
Yes. Think of it like this.
Yeah.
You have the generic product,
Okay.
the bare bones. Then there's the expected product,
Right.
what customers have come to expect.
Yeah.
But to really win them over,
Right.
you need the augmented product,
Mm-hmm.
the extras that set you apart,
Okay.
and the potential product,
Okay.
the promise of what's to come.
So it's kind of like buying a car.
Yes,
You expect it to have an engine and wheels,
of course.
but then there are the extras,
Yes.
the leather seats,
Right.
the sound systems. Exactly.
And then there's the potential, like maybe it's self-driving, capable down the road.
Exactly. And Aruba Networks is
Yeah.
a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
How powerful building a whole product can be.
Okay.
They were targeting university campuses
Okay.
with their Wi-Fi solutions, but they knew that just the tech wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
They had to create a complete ecosystem.
Because universities have very unique need
They do.
when it comes to Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
It's not just about students browsing the web.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. They partnered with companies
Yeah.
to offer network management,
Yeah.
security tools,
Right.
even ways to manage how students were using the network.
Wow.
They turned what could have been a weakness,
Yep.
the complexity of managing a campus network,
Right.
into a strength.
So it wasn't just about selling Wi-Fi.
Right.
It was about selling peace of mind,
Yes.
better security,
Mm-hmm.
the whole package. The whole package. They created a whole product invasion force,
That's great.
so to speak.
Okay, so we've got our beachhead. We've assembled the whole product.
Yes.
What comes next?
Partnerships and allies.
Okay.
This is where it gets even more interesting. They're absolutely crucial for building that whole product ecosystem,
Yeah.
especially when you're trying to appeal to the pragmatists
Right.
in the mainstream market.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Moore warns against getting too caught up
Yeah.
in those big, flashy strategic alliances
Why is that?
because they can be more trouble than they're worth.
Okay.
You often end up with these massive culture clashes.
Right.
You got the nimble startup
Yeah.
trying to tango with a corporate giant.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't always work.
Makes sense.
Their goals are different.
Right.
Their timelines are different.
Yeah.
It can turn into a real headache.
So what's the alternative?
Moore suggests focusing on tactical whole product alliances.
Oh.
These are partnerships that are laser focused
Oh,
on specific customer needs.
Okay.
And they're all about accelerating the development
Yeah.
of that complete solution.
So you're saying it's more like assembling a team of specialists,
Yeah.
each bringing their own expertise to the table.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
Think of a company like Rocket Fuel,
Okay.
for example.
Yeah.
They're in digital advertising.
Right.
And they built this incredibly effective network
Okay.
of what Moore calls silent partners.
Silent partners.
These are companies that are essential to Rocket Fuel's ecosystem,
Okay.
but you won't necessarily see their logos plastered all over
Right.
Rocket Fuel's marketing materials.
Okay.
They might provide data,
Yeah.
infrastructure,
Okay.
or specialized services
Yeah.
that Rocket Fuel needs to do its thing
Gotcha.
to power its AI-driven ad placements.
So they're kind of like the stage crew.
Exactly.
Right.
They make the whole show work,
Yeah.
but you don't see them. They don't take a bow at the end.
Right. Right.
By tapping into these existing systems and players,
Yeah.
Rocket Fuel can focus on what they do best.
Right.
Those algorithms that optimize ad performance.
Makes sense.
They don't have to build everything from scratch,
Right.
which allows them to scale much faster.
So it's all about playing to your strengths, right?
It is.
And finding the right collaborators to fill in the gaps.
Yes. But not every company relies on complex algorithms,
Right.
like Rocket Fuel does.
Yeah.
Some are all about the human touch.
Yeah.
Take Infusionsoft, for instance.
Infusionsoft.
Yeah, they're a fantastic example of how partnerships can be leveraged
Okay.
in a more people-centric business.
Okay.
They offer sales and marketing software
Mm-hmm.
for small businesses.
Right.
And they realized early on
Yeah.
that their target customers often needed more hand-holding
Okay.
than larger companies.
Because small business owners are already wearing a million hats.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And they might not have the time
Right.
or the expertise
A lot of the expertise.
to really wrestle with complex software.
So Infusionsoft got smart.
Okay.
They started partnering with marketing gurus and consultants
Okay.
who are already working with these small businesses,
Right.
selling them seminars and services.
Gotcha.
It was a match made in heaven.
Because the gurus had the trust of the small business owner.
They did.
And could help them implement the software.
Exactly.
And the software, in turn, gave the gurus another tool.
Another tool.
To offer their clients.
A win-win situation.
Exactly.
But as Infusionsoft grew
Yeah.
and started moving beyond the early adopter market,
Okay.
they kept refining their approach to partnerships.
Okay.
They realized that onboarding was absolutely crucial.
Right.
At one point, they tried waiving their setup fees
Oh, okay.
to attract more customers.
Seems like a good idea.
It backfired.
Oh.
Big time.
Okay.
A lot of those new customers ended up churning out
Oh.
because they weren't getting the support they needed
Right.
to actually use the software effectively.
Okay.
So it's not enough to just give people access to the tool.
Right.
They need the guidance and the support
Right.
to actually use it and see results.
So they doubled down on building their partner ecosystem
They did.
and created a whole program to train and certify Infusionsoft consultants
Yes.
who could provide that all-important handholding
Yes.
during the onboarding process.
Smart.
So they turned their partners into product experts
He did.
who could guide their customers to success.
And it paid off.
Okay.
These certified consultants became a huge source of referrals
Wow.
and ended up driving over half
Yeah.
of the company's new customer signups.
Wow. That's great.
It's a classic example
Yeah.
of how a well-designed partner program
Right?
can create a self-reinforcing market,
Yeah.
a win-win for everyone involved.
You create this positive feedback loop
You do.
where the product, the partners, and the customers all benefit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But even with the perfect beachhead,
Right.
a killer whole product,
Yeah.
and an army of amazing partners, you still need one more crucial element
Okay.
to ensure you cross the chasm successfully.
And what's that?
Positioning.
Okay.
This is where you define the battleground
All right.
and make it crystal clear why your solution
Okay.
is the absolute best choice for your target customer,
Okay.
for that specific problem they're facing.
So it's not just about listing all the bells and whistles
Totally.
your product has.
It's about framing it in a way
Yeah.
that resonates with the needs and desires
Okay.
of your ideal customer.
Just speaking their language.
Exactly. And here's another key insight from Moore.
Okay.
Your biggest competitor in the chasm
Okay.
isn't necessarily another company
Right.
with a similar product.
Yeah.
It's often inertia,
Inertia.
the resistance to change.
Because people get comfortable with what they know.
That's exactly it.
Even if it's not perfect.
Exactly.
Even if there's a better way out there.
So you have to position yourself as the superior alternative
Right.
to what they're already doing.
Okay.
You have to break through that comfort zone.
Right.
Moore talks about two key concepts here.
Okay.
The market alternative,
Okay.
which is the existing solution the customer is using,
Gotcha.
and the product alternative, which is a next-generation solution from a competitor.
So you have to understand both what they're currently doing
Right.
and what other options they might be considering.
Think about the Segway.
The Segway. Okay.
It was this cool, innovative product,
Yeah.
but it didn't really fit into any existing category.
Right.
It was a solution looking for a problem.
Yeah.
And without a clear market alternative to compare it to,
Right.
people didn't know where to put it in their minds or
Yeah.
their budgets.
It's like, cool, a personal transporter,
Well,
but what do I do with it?
Exactly. Another example is Better Place,
Better place. Okay.
the electric vehicle company.
Yeah.
They had this great idea
Yeah.
with swappable battery packs
Right.
to address range anxiety,
Right.
but they struggled
Yeah.
because they didn't have a clear market alternative either.
So,
People weren't comparing them to other electric cars. They were comparing them to gas-powered cars,
right.
public transportation, everything.
So their positioning was too diffuse?
Exactly.
They didn't give people a clear frame of reference?
To be effective, your positioning needs that sharp focus.
Okay.
Moore gives us this great framework
Okay. I love a good framework.
for crafting a positioning statement.
Okay.
For target customer,
Okay.
who statement of need or opportunity,
All right.
product name is a product category.
Okay.
That key benefit.
Okay.
Unlike primary competitive alternative
Gotcha.
product name. statement of primary differentiation.
Okay, so let's say you're a company that makes software to help freelance writers manage their projects and clients.
Right.
Your positioning statement could be something like,
Yeah.
for freelance writers
Yeah.
who are struggling to stay organized and on top of deadlines.
Perfect.
Our software is a project management platform that streamlines your workflow and maximizes your productivity.
Great.
Unlike generic to-do list apps,
Yeah.
our software is specifically designed for the unique needs of freelancers.
Yes.
With features like invoice tracking,
Yeah.
client communication tools,
Perfect.
and built-in time tracking.
Nailed it.
Did I?
You clearly identified the target customer,
Yeah.
their pain point,
Right.
your solution,
Yeah.
and how it's different from those more generic options.
Awesome.
It's all about clarity and focus.
Yeah.
You need to make it dead simple for the customer to understand
Right.
why your solution is the right one for them.
And more emphasizes that positioning isn't about boasting or hyping up your product.
Right.
It's about truly seeing things from the customer's perspective. Right. Okay.
It's about creating that space in the customer's mind.
Okay.
That category labeled Best Buy for this specific need.
Yeah.
And then owning that space completely.
So once you've nailed your positioning,
Right.
what are the final steps to actually launching the invasion?
That's where it all comes down to execution.
Okay.
And Moore highlights a few key points. It's time to launch that invasion into the mainstream market.
This is where the rubber meets the road, huh?
Moore doesn't sugarcoat it.
Okay.
He makes it very clear that adapting your sales and marketing approach
Right?
for the mainstream market
Yeah.
is a huge shift.
Okay.
It's about moving from a product-centric focus,
Right.
where you're all about the cool features and tech specs,
Yeah, yeah.
to a market-centric focus,
Okay.
where it's all about the customer
Right.
and how your product solves their specific problems.
So it's less about, look at all the cool things our product can do,
Exactly.
and more about, here's how our product can make your life easier, help you save money, or achieve your goals.
You got it.
And get it.
And you've got to think carefully about your distribution strategy.
Okay.
How are you going to get your product into the hands of your target customers?
Right.
Direct sales,
Yeah.
online channels,
Mm-hmm.
through partners.
Okay.
And what about pricing?
Right.
You need to find that sweet spot
Yeah.
where you're capturing value,
Right.
but you're also competitive in the market.
It's a delicate balancing act.
It is. Moore also stresses the importance
Mhm.
of what he calls whole product R&D.
Whole product R&D.
It's this ongoing collaboration between your engineering team,
Yeah.
who are building the product,
Right.
and your marketing team,
Right.
who are talking to the customers.
So you're constantly refining your offering
You are.
based on real-world feedback,
Yes.
making sure you're meeting the evolving needs of the market.
Exactly. And one thing I found really interesting
Yeah.
is how Moore suggests adapting those classic consumer marketing techniques.
You mean like focus groups
Yeah.
and packaging studies.
Exactly.
But those are usually for like breakfast cereal.
That's what I thought too.
Right. And laundry detergent.
But Moore argues that once your tech product has gained some traction
Okay.
in the market,
Yeah.
these techniques can be incredibly valuable
Okay.
for refining your messaging,
Right.
improving the user experience,
Yeah.
and making your product more appealing
Okay.
to a wider audience.
So it's about stepping back and looking at the bigger picture,
It is.
not just the technical details.
It's about understanding how your target customer perceives your product,
Okay.
what their first impressions are,
Right.
what they find confusing, what they love.
Yeah.
It's about taking something that might be innovative and exciting for the early adopters
Mm-hmm.
and making it accessible and user-friendly for everyone else.
So you're not just selling technology. You're
Correct.
selling an experience.
Exactly. Crossing the chasm successfully
Yeah.
isn't just about building a great product.
Okay.
It's about building a great company,
Right.
a company that's truly focused on serving its customers.
So to bring it all back to our listener,
Yes.
what does this all mean for them?
It means understanding that crossing the chasm,
Yeah.
that leap from early adopters to the mainstream
Right.
is a crucial
Yeah.
but incredibly challenging step
Right.
for any tech company.
Makes sense.
It requires focus,
Yeah.
the right product,
Mm-hmm.
strategic partnerships,
Yeah.
clear positioning,
Right.
and, of course, flawless execution.
So it's about having a plan,
It is.
building the right team,
Yes.
and constantly adapting to the ever-changing market.
And even if crossing the chasm is the ultimate goal,
Yeah.
for most companies.
Right.
More does raise an interesting question.
Okay.
Are there situations
Yeah.
where a company might choose to stay on the early adopter side
Oh, that's an interesting question.
in that niche market?
Yeah, because sometimes the smartest move is to dominate a smaller market
It is.
rather than try to be everything to everyone.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like that incredible artisan bakery
Oh, yeah.
that only makes a few types of bread,
Yeah.
but does them perfectly.
Yeah. They have a line out the door every day.
Exactly.
But they're happy with their niche.
They know their strengths.
Yeah.
They understand their market,
Right.
and they have a clear vision for what they want to achieve.
That's it.
That's the key.
So there you have it, folks.
Yes.
A deep dive into Crossing the Chasm.
A classic.
Hopefully this has sparked some new ideas
I hope so.
and given you a framework for thinking about your own tech journey,
Yes,
whether you're on the product side or the customer side.
exactly.
Until next time, keep diving deep. Remember,
Yes,
the chasm might be challenging,
it is.
but it's definitely not impossible to cross.
Absolutely not.